That really chilled me out.
There we go. So, teasing into the episode here, Transcendental Meditation is the topic of episode 7, and
you're talking a lot softer now. I just feel like you just shifted down.
I mellowed out. I need to pick it up for the episode.
All right, give us a rundown of what Transcendental Meditation is. Either one of you
two.
These
are little shorter sessions. It's recommended to do these twice daily for about 20 minutes. Sitting comfortable with your eyes closed, and the big difference between this and some others that we've talked about is meditating on a word or a sound. So it's really mantra focused, so it's a little different of one than.
Yeah, man. I used I used this method early on in my meditation journey because I'm if you're in the Ayurvedic, very Vata. So I'm like, go, go, go. So I gave myself like, I am grounded, I am grounded, I am grounded, I am grounded, or I am focused, I am focused, I am focused. So anytime my mind would slip and go into like, I wonder what I'm going to eat for dinner tonight, I am focused. Or thinking about the billion things I had to do, I just used it as like a recapture to get back. But I know you had a little different journey with yours.
I love having this as a tool.
Yeah.
Even testing for sound is hard for me to think of something to say. Like, I'd rather just play something and that speak through me or speak to me. So I love singing bowls as one of my tools for that.
And it sounds like in general, Transcendental Meditation just gives you a centerpiece of focus to return to whenever your mind wanders. It's kind of how I would describe it to somebody else. Like, I don't think you have to use a word or a mantra if you don't have to. If you have, like a bowl.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like keeping a sound, or even like you mentioned in, I think it was the last episode about the sound shower. I think that could be transcendental as well.
Oh, yeah.
And having just the sound come down, or, the speakers blasting you.
Oh, a sound bath.
Sound bath, sound shower.
Oh, there we go. I was like,
either way, yeah. I'm sorry. I'm obviously channeling. But that aspect could be transcendental as well. I don't think we mentioned it in that episode, but it seems very fitting.
Absolutely. It has to do with sound, frequency, vibration. Like, all of those are so powerful with how they affect our body, because everything has frequency.
Yeah, this thing was rocking my world.
Yeah, I don't know how well you all could hear this, but it was carrying well.
I love these. They're amazing.
So do we think that words of affirmation could play into this? Would this lead into a good meditation session?
Absolutely. I mean, some people would consider that as a mantra. When you're speaking things, whether they're thoughts or actually out verbally, you're speaking things into existence. You're putting an intention in place. And so your thoughts, you have to really pay attention and become aware of what you're thinking about.
Yeah, for sure.
Otherwise, you could be attracting the wrong things that you're actually not wanting to attract, but really you are attracting them because you keep thinking about them over and over again.
Sure.
For example, there was a time it's like, well, I don't know how I'm going to figure out where my next paycheck is going to come from. Like,
create it.
Yeah, it's like, well, if you're, instead of worrying about it, instead of putting that intention like, I don't know, or it's not going to happen, you have to change that first. You have to change your mindset first to make things happen.
I like that. I also think of transcendental as positive brainwashing. Like, kind of like you said, with your thoughts create your actions or your intentions, which goes on to manifestation, hypothetically speaking. But say you want that, like, I don't know, $5,000 a month client. Endlessly thinking, I'm going to land a $5,000 a month, or not even I am, like I have landed, and putting it in the present tense or that it's already happened, and endlessly telling yourself that, like you're endlessly empowering yourself to think that you're there, and it attracts you in the coolest ways.
Yeah, or I am healthy.
Yeah.
Or I am... There's just so many different things.
And if people think we're crazy for saying that, I'd almost say start meditating 10, 20 minutes a day and tell yourself something that you really want. Say you already have it and see if it manifests. Like, it's crazy. Yeah, it's bizarre.
It's amazing because when you picture yourself as the person you want to be, you start subconsciously making moves to become that person.
Exactly.
And I don't know, I feel like this might be getting a little off track to transcendental meditation, but I mean, I've found that that's really effective.
It all goes together.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you want to be like Kobe, listen to Kobe while you meditate.
Right.
Maybe that's some transcendental for you, you know?
Right.
I think that has its own piece of like mind to it too, because you're subconsciously wiring it in there.
Yeah, totally. So I'm curious if you all have an opinion, if you would rather listen to a sound or have a word to focus on, and what benefits there are of each.
I mean, I'm personally word-based. I'm going to guess you're sound-based with your bowl in front of you.
Well, yes, primarily, but the words are important too.
For sure. I think focusing on word or words just helps me create, I mean, going into a meditation with an intention and then making that word or phrase around that intention. If I lose focus, it just gives me that spot to endlessly go back to. Sound a little less. I think sometimes my mind wanders with sounds and really just would run with it. So sometimes if I'm listening to music, I don't even know I'm singing it or playing it in my head, and it's hard sometimes to even do anything with music because my brain just picks up what's going on. So
Okay. Well, here, I've got a question then.
Uh-oh.
What if there was something that had the sound playing, it had the visual of the words, and perhaps even the color that's associated with that particular, energy center of the body that it's focusing on? Would that help for your attention, like focusing in on that?
yes, because subconsciously you're already telling me, all right, yellow, like solar plexus, and then
Yeah.
frequency to that. So in that aspect, yes.
Okay.
Because then, I'm hitting two stimuli, or, say my eyes are still closed, but I'm seeing the yellow and then hearing the frequency, that would help.
Yeah. Okay, cool. That's what I put
Boom.
together.
Debunked.
Wow, yeah. Well, that's interesting too, because when I'm thinking about this, I'm super visual. So I'm like, how could I implement this? Because I will get so bored just trying to think of something or repeat something to myself. I like to have that visual aspect of it.
For sure.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that's what I put together on my website.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Hey.
Wait, check that out.
Yeah.
No kidding. Revolutionarywellness.com.
Yeah.
Links
Singing
in the
Bowl
bio.
meditation series. I'm sorry I didn't mean to
Yep.
talk over you.
Bang.
We can redo
Love
that.
it.
No,
That's
Roll with
perfect.
it.
We're keeping it.
oh yeah. This is so natural. Let's go.
Love it. So, there are a few ways to go about it. I like what we've explored here so far. So, what are the final tips? Like, how do we get into it? How do you find if you're more mantra-based or sound-based, and how do you get started with it?
I say experiment with one or the other. That's my biggest thing is I'm never definitive on a point until I tried both. I'm like, all right, let's go all the way to this side, all the way to this side, and then find the balance point. And I'd almost say you could probably mix two and see which one you like more. But I'm a big fan of starting off with words and mantras. Just endlessly keep that one focus point coming back.
Yeah. I think that was a first aware of it with sound, but then I brought in the words. I was like, oh, that's it was another step for me. So the combination is nice that I like to work with both, but sound definitely just gets me right there all the time because I read a lot of things, and so I'd rather not have to look at things all the time if I'm especially wanting to meditate. So
Love it. So everybody try it out. Maybe A/B test like Chris suggested. Next week we have moon-based meditation, which I know we're super into. Thank you for watching, and be sure to tune in next week.